So we're going to talk about making your paper mold supports for your gnome home. This is my finished piece, and I just kind of wanted to show you what I ended up with and what my molds look like. So this one, the roof comes off. Out of the base, the body, and the roof, you want one of those to be unattached because we need to make sure we can get the paper supports out. If this was something where I wanted the lid to be permanently attached, I could always do that when we glaze it. Just make sure there is glaze in between there, and it would seal that shut. The molds that I used for this was the roof, and this one was the body. So remember, when you're making the roof, if it's going to come over the edge like that, it'll sit closer to this. So like my roof part just sat on top of here, making sure it's high enough to where the edges won't touch the table, so you don't have that flat edge on there if you don't want it on there. And this will sit down on top of my house. So the way that these look might not necessarily be exactly how they sit together. But we do want to make sure that they fit inside the paper molds. So you have the template that you made. So this was the body that I had. And I'm making the paper mold to make sure it does fit nicely, like it slides out nice. It isn't super tight because remember, clay shrinks. So we're going to actually be like physically cutting this apart and laying it out on your clay to cut out, making sure that you have enough room to get this in and out. If you feel like yours is pretty snug, when you go to cut out your clay, just make sure you have a little bit of room outside of there so it isn't going to be too tight. We'll only leave this in there for a few days. Once you're done, we're going to take that out so it does have room to shrink and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you how I did the roof. This is kind of the trickiest part. This part is literally just newspaper wadded up. You do want to make sure it's really tight. Like I can hardly squeeze this. That's how tight that is because we do want it to be supportive. So there is a lot of paper in there. When you go to do this, we are going to unfold the newspaper fully. So I have one full sheet on there. And for this part, I have the center is probably a couple of pages at least. I might even add one more later. The outside is the part that's kind of tricky. So I have this page already scrunched up. So you want to do a single layer scrunch. So I'm just going to kind of fan fold scrunch it up. And I'm going diagonal wise so that it kind of, it'll like go off from one strip to the next. So I want this to be long, and I'm going to kind of scrunch it up so I have it. So I have this piece started. This is going to be like the middle. I'm going to start wrapping pieces around here. You kind of just wrap it around like a cinnamon roll to get this outside part. So I'm just going to take some tape, and I'm going to tape the end of that on there, and I'm just going to start wrapping it around until it's the thickness that I want. And you can make adjustments to this until you feel it's correct. If it's too small or too big, go ahead and make adjustments to it. And I'm literally just like wrapping it around there. So I'm going to try to keep it on the bottom. I think I will be adding more to that top so it has a little bit more top to it. Okay, it's going around. And then I'm going to tape it. I had it already done. I took it apart, so the tape was already there. Then I have this other one, so I'm going to add it on there. So right where that tape was, I'm going to keep going that same direction until I get to the shape that I want. Remember, you want this pretty tight, so I'm trying to wad that, keep that pretty firm in there. And this is just your general structure. It doesn't need to be everything exactly how you want it when you're done. So I kind of got that going on. Don't forget to put your name on there. My name's on the bottom so you don't lose it. Okay, I'm going to do like one more around this side. I might even do a little bit more, or you might want it to be just short like that. It's totally up to you.